All right, Lance Pugmire is here, longtime boxing writer, now with payperview.com and Boxing Scene. Lance, seeing your byline more on boxingscene.com. Welcome back to the regular boxing beat, my friend.
Thank you so much, buddy. I'm so happy to be back, and it's a great opportunity.
It's a busy time too in the boxing world, as it always is. But we've got a lot going on outside the ring. I want to talk about what we saw in the ring with Ray Ford this past weekend. The fight down in Puerto Rico, headlined suddenly by Jake Paul. But we got to talk about Ryan Garcia right off the bat, because this was the big news over the weekend. In the aftermath of what was a strange two-city press tour last week, concerns about Garcia's mental health have increased over the last few days. Ryan has acted erratically, we can say, on social media, posting messages like "this could be curtains" and a bizarre video where he pretended that someone from Devin Haney's camp had come to kill him. Garcia insisted last week that all these posts are trolling, but then we saw his ex take to Instagram on Sunday and effectively say that Ryan is not okay. So Lance, as we record this on Monday, the fight with Devin Haney has not been canceled yet, but I'm being told that there are serious concerns from members of his family about his well-being, and serious concern within Golden Boy, both for Ryan as a person that promoted him for most of his pro career, and for the fight itself. I mean, Golden Boy has already spent, six figures on the promotion of this fight, and there are questions being asked, I think, internally over there about whether it is wise to pull the plug now before they spend even more money and potentially have to pull the plug later. So what's your reaction to what you've seen over the last couple of days? And can you add anything to that about, what's happening with Ryan?
Yeah, a couple things come to mind immediately, Chris, is that it's fine that if he is trolling. I wrote a story last week for Boxing Scene saying, is this gamesmanship or is it game over for Ryan Garcia? And the thing is that it's fine to be trolling and kidding around and stuff like that. But of all the subjects that he could be trolling over, mental health is really not one that he should be wanting to take on, right? I mean, he's got his own history with this issue, and it is very sensitive and delicate. So it's not something to really be making light of. It comes across as poor taste. And so I think that gives you an indication to sort of embrace these concerns that are out there, that this is not gamesmanship. This is real. This is someone really kind of struggling with things. And I think we saw those things in play. I covered the second part of the tour with the stop at Hollywood's Avalon Theater. And Ryan seemed pretty shaken. I mean, there was one point, I don't know if you watched the whole thing, but toward the close of it, Devin Haney and his father were asking Ryan repeatedly, "Are you going to show up for the fight? Are you going to show up for the fight?" And there was no response. There was nothing from Ryan Garcia. And, following that, he, did a quick face off with Devin Haney and seemed in a very huge hurry to leave the stage and talk to none of us. I mean, I don't want to get into this too much, but like as a distributor, we had like a deal in place for him to
Mm-hmm.
talk to us. He not only blew off me, which is fine, but he blew off all the reporters who were waiting to talk to him with the scrum. And, it's like, this is something that's going to help you. This is something that's going to make your fight as big as possible. Why would you do this unless you truly are shaken up and affected by this? And it seemed like more real. That is more real than this, gamesmanship or trolling that he's making reference to.
Yeah, and I was in New York for the first leg of that press tour, and I did a one-on-one with Ryan Garcia, and I did the face-off between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, and both of them, Lance, I can say, were different than the usual sit-downs I've had with Ryan Garcia in the past. He just wasn't himself. Now, his voice was hoarse during that. He claimed it was because of screaming during promotional yeah, events or promotional situations that he had to do. I'm not sure I buy that necessarily. Um, but more importantly, he just didn't seem like himself. And that's just not me saying that. Everybody around that event saw that and felt that from Ryan Garcia. And look, to see him stand up there at the dais in Los Angeles and say, look, I drink and I smoke weed, and so doesn't everybody else in this room. That may be true, but elite athletes don't do that. People trying to be the best at their craft don't do that. Floyd Mayweather, for all his warts, he was not a drinker and not a smoker. He was, he treated his body like a temple. You and I both know that. Mm-hmm. Andre Ward, another example, same thing. Treated his body like a temple. Terrence Crawford, currently, not going to catch him. I remember being at the Creed 3 premiere just about a year ago, and Terrence was there. And there's an after party and a lot of people drinking, including myself. And Terrence was not, though. Terrence is just there, and he's kind of sipping on water and just hanging out. And that's what elite athletes do. You during this time in your career, you take care of your body to the best of your ability. That's not to say you can't ever drink, you can't ever smoke, you can't ever, have vices. But, look, Ryan, when he said that, is less than 2 months away from a scheduled fight. And that was a big red flag to me. Now, Devin Haney, I messaged with him on Sunday night. He has no idea what's going on. As far as he knows, the fight is still on. Bill Haney messaged me Monday morning. As far as he knows, the fight is still on. So the Haneys have not been told anything. But I do know that there is genuine concern as we speak on Monday about the health of Ryan Garcia. And I think that in the next 24 hours, Lance, this is going to get resolved. By the time people listen to this podcast, there may be some more answers to the question of what's going to happen with this fight. But I would say it's fair to say that this fight is in jeopardy at the moment.
Well, it was, it was very clear. Arnold Barboza Jr. was at this news conference in LA, and he said, without a doubt that, hey, I know that I'm in position as the backup fighter here. So
it will not, but I should say this. If the plug gets pulled on this fight this week, it will not be Haney Barboza. that will not happen. Barboza is there in case something crazy happens fight week and they can't go through with the fight. But given that we're talking in early March, my understanding is if this fight gets scrapped, Devin will move on to something else entirely. He's got a promoter, de facto promoter in Eddie Hearn, who will find something else for him. It will. I feel very comfortable with Lance saying it will not be Haney Arnold Barboza on April 20th.
Very interesting. It's a shame because we both know Ryan Garcia very well, and we hope that whatever is going on with him right now is can be tended to.
He's had issues with mental health in the past that he has, I would say, bravely dealt with. Faced backlash from people that just have been uninformed and uneducated on his situation, and I thought he was a real example for people in those situations. I think he's in a difficult place right now. I don't think this is trolling. I don't think this is just part of a promotion. And I think his ex going on social on Sunday, kind of further validated that, further put a stamp on that. So we do hope for the best for Ryan one way or the other, but I don't think it's a stretch to say this fight right now as we speak is in jeopardy.